So I kind of want to re-intro this video because I did an intro, but I don't think I really explained what I wanted to do here very well. So I want to do an expansion series. I want to pick a team. I want to be on the ground floor with them and then try and get them into a champion. Now, I want to kind of speed run this series, a bunch of episodes pretty quickly. I'll probably go through like a season an episode, honestly. And because I want to get this out before the draft, because when the draft happens and the summer starts, a lot of this stuff will become out of date. Because in this, we are going to do Giannis trade, the KD trade, just to make this league feel our own. All the courts are custom. Like there's a lot of stuff I want to do to make this feel very immersive for us, but I do want to get it done before the draft, which is only a couple weeks away. Now, what expansion team we are going to be, I don't know. So I would love some input on this if, anybody actually watches this. I am going to make us one of 3 expansion teams though. The other 2 teams are going to be Seattle, New Jersey. Now we can be New Jersey if somebody's interested in this, but for now I just have them as the other expansion team, and then I just have the Vegas Vipers as a placeholder, but that third team is who we're going to be. But I kind of don't want to do Vegas. I don't want to do Seattle because I feel like those have been really done to death. And then I think New Jersey deserves their own team. They have a rich history with Julius Erving and the J. Kidd eras. Now, what does that mean for Brooklyn? Right now, they are just listed as Brooklyn basketball, kind of like how Washington in the NFL was the Washington football team for a year. I want to hear what you guys want Brooklyn to be named. I asked ChatGPT. Some examples that they gave were the Brooklyn Bridges, which I've actually seen some designs on the 2K share for. I just didn't love those designs. And then I also got one for Brooklyn Blacktops, which is cool because of their rich playground like basketball history. The only problem with that, and these ChatGPT mock-ups for the logos, I don't know if I'll put them in the video or not. They're pretty sick, like, to be honest, but I just don't feel great about using ChatGPT assets in a video because I know that's kind of looked down upon, but the only problem is I'm not very good with making logos and such. So any ideas for what we should call Brooklyn's team, let me know. Ideas for cities and team names that we should do for our own team. And then if you want me to be New Jersey, I'm actually down for that. I'm not going to be Seattle. Seattle is a team that has been done to death in 2K franchise expansion series since they've kind of brought these back into the game. So just give me some ideas, man. Comments always appreciated. And yeah, we'll get into this video now. If I do repeat these things that I've said in this intro, it's because I'm recording after I finish the other recording that you're about to watch. But I'm also going to kind of leave it in there, I think, so that way it kind of hammers home to anybody who watches this like what I'm looking for. So all right, y'all, what's up? We're doing something different and I'm gonna explain it. So we are gonna start today. It's 1-to-1. The like actual stats aren't gonna be correct because I started this file before, I think actually before the finals even started, but I have Force won the game. So game 1 the Pacers won, game 2 the Thunder win. But in this series I want to do an expansion and I want to have some fun. So I've actually gone through, I've given every team a custom court just to maybe try and get it to feel a little more custom. Now they aren't crazy looking or anything, but I really hate the like very bright light courts that the NBA has kind of switched to now, and a lot of teams have like the gray courts. I think like just off the top of my head, like obviously Brooklyn has like a pretty gray court, I believe. The Mavericks I hate. So I went through and I gave every team, I'll just show you, I went through and gave every team a custom court. Now they don't look amazing, but I do think it helps to make this series feel a little more special and also a little more our own. For some reason a team like the Bucks I went all out for. I don't know, I feel like it looks weird, but we're probably not going to see too much of the Bucks anyways in this series. I also hate like the highlighter stuff that the Jazz have going on, so I just downloaded one of the better expansion jersey combinations and courts available. I might have changed the color of the court. I like the darker courts. That's just a personal preference. Another team like the Lakers, I did get new jerseys. I hate their highlighter yellow jerseys, and I don't know, I downloaded these off the share. I think they look alright. I'm also very open and like malleable to be making changes throughout this, but I think that about covers that random shit. We're gonna go through the finals here, and then my plan is to go through the whole next season in this episode because I want to hear from you guys. What cities do you think we should do for expansion? So a couple of things I have in mind. The Brooklyn Nets, I don't think I want to be Brooklyn anymore, or the Nets. For this year, we'll just call them the Brooklyn basketball team, kind of akin to what Washington did a couple years ago. And the main reason for this is I want to bring back the New Jersey Nets. I think that team has a pretty rich history with Dr. J, the Jason Kidd era, and I don't see a reason why they should be without a basketball team. Now, whether or not we go be the New Jersey Nets, because I am going to add them back in. I also am going to add Seattle in as the Supersonics again. And then I don't know for our third team. We obviously could go Vegas. Alaska is a fun one. I don't exactly know. I'm very open to suggestions, but I do want to be one of these expansion teams in here. I'm kind of hesitant to do like a Seattle expansion series because I know that's kind of been done to death on YouTube. So yeah, I am kind of open to being the New Jersey Nets. I think that could be fun. And then I would take suggestions for a Brooklyn basketball team name. I know on the share there are some Brooklyn Bridges designs, but I didn't really love them. I thought they looked kind of cartoonish. Yeah, so this is what the Brooklyn Bridges logo looks like that people have made. I don't know if I really love that, but I do like the idea. I asked ChatGPT actually for some ideas for a Brooklyn team name, and there was Bridges was one they said, as well as Blacktops, and I had them mock up logos, and I think they actually look really good. I'm just a little hesitant to use ChatGPT generated stuff. So I would love suggestions for a Brooklyn basketball team name. And what third expansion city do we want to be? A different city? The Las Vegases are obviously an option, but that's another one I feel like it's been done to death, as is Seattle, but Seattle will be back. So the two teams but it does kind of remind me of like the Miami Heat logo, with like the stars coming off the ball, as like Miami's has the flames coming off the ball, but I like it. I think it's cool. It definitely reminds me of like a Disney kind of thing, but I don't know. I also really like the jerseys. I think the jerseys have gotten a pretty mixed reception as well, but I honestly think they kind of mash up the two different eras of the like T-Mac looking jerseys and the Shaq looking pinstripe jerseys, and I like them. I think they're cool. But for this season, I think we kind of have everything covered. We are going to go through the offseason. We're going to make some changes because I don't want KD to just sit on the Suns. I don't want Giannis to just sit on the Bucks. And yeah, I think we are about covered. We can start heading into these finals games. So everything is set to automatic for these teams, so that way we don't have to worry about it. But we will hop in if there's like a close game. We want to see a big moment. My plan for this series is to try and get really immersed in it. Hopefully you guys enjoy that type of stuff, and hopefully we can have a little fun series. So hopping into game 3 here. It's a 2-point game with 1:36 left, and I also have gone through for these two teams at least, and we have custom finals courts with the trophy in them. Do not really love theirs. In game is Tyrese pulls 3. It's actually good luck he misses, and J-Dub passes it up to Wiggins. I don't see Shea. Is he on the court? No Shea. Did he fall out? Yes, he did. Shea fouled out. Lou has 5. Halliburton has 5, and TJ McConnell fouled out. Looks like OKC's planning to go double big. Benedict Mathurin and Siakam coming in for the Pacers. J-Dub on the drive gets swatted by Miles Turner. 1:11 left. Neesmith brings it down. Drives on Dort. Forces something stupid. Maybe trying to get Lou Dort his 6th foul. And J-Dub brings it up. Pass up to Wiggins. Obi Toppin meets him at the rim. Good enough contest to get a miss. And nobody's calling timeouts. Everyone's saving that last timeout. Caruso gets a steal. He's hurt, I guess. Caruso up to Dort. Dort driving on Halliburton. He should have went up. J-Dub pulls it out. Has Neesmith on him. Pulls it all the way. Gets right past Neesmith. Gives it into J Will. J Will to Dort. Dort back to J-Dub. J-Dub, what a move. Spins around. Misses the layup. We are under 30 seconds. Is OKC not going to foul? They're going to play for our last shot with 5 seconds left. They got to get a stop here then. Indy winding the clock down. Andrew Nembhard gets a screen. Now Obi's going to screen for Tyrese. Every team runs that play. Fadeaway 3 for Tyrese. Bang. That's going to do it. Indy's going to take a 2-1 lead now. And honestly, I hate that possession by Dagnall and the Thunder. Not only do they give up the 3, but they waited and didn't foul. So now we have 7 seconds left. Usually the CPU's too eager to foul down the stretch. J-Dub wide open 3 gets it to go. It says strong contest, but that was not a strong contest. That was just the Pacers not trying to foul the shot. 4.6 left. 2-point game Indy. I might have wrote off OKC too early here. A missed free throw makes it a 1-possession game. Tyrese is going to be at the line. Some of this court don't look nice. It reminds me more of like the 2013-ish era, as the first free throw for Halliburton is out. Neither team has a timeout, so this is going to be a long-range 3 unless OKC can get someone out there at the 3-point line and push ahead. The second free throw is up and good. It is a 3-point game. Hartenstein's going to inbound it right to Caruso. No, J-Dub. J-Dub, give it to Chet. Give it to Chet. J-Dub from half court doesn't get it, and the Indiana Pacers do kind of luck out here. Both teams with late game execution that I did not like. 24-6 for Halliburton on 21 shots. 35-7 for Siakam. 28-7-5 for J-Dub. And in 40 minutes after falling out, 21-4-9 on 6-17 shooting, 7 turnovers for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And then J Will actually had a really good game. 18-8, 7 of 10 from the floor. Chet was really bad, so they brought in J Will. Game 4. And just so you guys know, I think I said this already, I have everything on auto, so I have no no like bearings on what happens here. It's just the game. All right, 1:13 left. We got a tie game going into this game. Halliburton has 27, 4, and 9. Miles Turner fouled out. Chet has fouled out. And J-Dub again, another great game. 34, 3, and 8. 25, 4, and 7 for Shea. Let's hop in here. Inbound to Shea. Gets the easy layup on Tyrese. That's not gonna go. Oh wow, I thought that was down. Tyrese pushing. Shea trailing the whole play. Hartenstein guarding Tyrese. Bank by Siakam. Gets Wiggins up in the air. Easy layup for him. Under a minute, and Indiana is threatening to go up 3-1 in this series, but it is not a done deal yet as Shea gets right around Tyrese. He gets his mid-range jumper. That's gonna go. 47 seconds left, and we have a tie game. Inbound to Tyrese. Tyrese catches it at the free throw line, blocked by Shea. Dort gonna drive. Kicks it back up to J-Dub. J-Dub to Dort. Dort hands it off to Shea. My gosh. Tyrese on the contest, and Ben Mathurin will take it the other way, trying to get a bucket. Gives it back to Tyrese. Lay around Hartenstein over Shea. What a play. Tyrese, man. Clutch in these finals. Inbound to Shea. Shea right into a jumper. That's a tough shot. I don't know why he shot that. He has to foul Ben Mathurin, but they aren't in the bonus. So now Tyrese is going to go back to the line, hopefully not missing one today. And Indiana, man, I want to live in a world where the Pacers win the championship this year, and all of a sudden everybody who argues about legacies and shit has to figure out where Tyrese lands. Oh my god, he missed another one. But where Tyrese lands in like the legacy talk as a 25-year-old NBA champion. But this to put him up 3. He does get the second one again, just like last game, and now OKC still in this game, and I like their chances of hitting a 3 right here. Shea gives it to Dort. Dort getting guarded by Nembhard, has to throw up a tough 3. Isaiah Hartenstein on the offensive boards. Right back to Dort. Dort another 3. Can't get this one to go. Offensive board Hartenstein, and he tries pulling it out. Oh my god. I don't think OKC had any timeouts left. Oh my god. 2 of the biggest rebounds in the game. He finishes with 12, and he finished with 3 offensive rebounds, 2 of them right there. Going back to OKC, a chance to win this series for Indiana. Can't believe this, man. But you know 2K, we'll probably get a game 7. And OKC is going to blow them out on their home floor. 52 for Shea on 30 shots. 52, 6, and 5. How many free throws? 12. Whatever. Miles Turner led the way for the Pacers with 20. Game 6, OKC has a lead. And yeah, like I said, we are probably going to get a game 7 as OKC wins that by 20. Mathurin led the way, and then Shea with another 40. So 90-something points in the last 2 games for Shea, and we get a game 7 on OKC's floor. I like OKC's chances in this game. But Indiana has a lead late. 12-point game. Indiana pulls away up 13. And I know there's 22 seconds left and the game's over, but I do want to show you, I did go out of my way to make the Thunder's home court. I don't know if I really like this one, but it does have the Finals logo, so I just wanted to show that off. I guess we'll shoot that as Tyrese. We ain't hurting nothing. I'm gonna hop in and actually play as the Thunder as they lose the championship on their home floor. Caruso's in, no longer injured. And yeah, so see, they have the Finals logo also in the middle of the court. I do plan on doing this every year for whatever teams end up in the finals, especially if it's us, whoever we end up being, and we throw a turnover. And this series is officially over. We don't need to watch the celebration. We'll see who wins the Finals MVP. A 131-15 loss for OKC in Game 7, and Tyrese is your MVP, averaging about 24 and 9, 3 steals. Percentages are okay, and that'll do it for this season. So this regular season is over. I'm gonna go through anybody who's on an NBA team. I'm going to let or make come back. But if you're just like a free agent, like a Thad Young, you can retire, man. Nobody makes the Hall of Fame this year. I wish 2K would do this, have the lottery updated, but we are gonna go through and fix every pick, at least in the first round, make sure it's right. The other thing I'm gonna do is fire Tom Thibodeau and let the Knicks hire whoever they want. And that does remind me too, Greg Popovich retired, but I'm not gonna fire him. If I could hire him if I could have him, like, if I could promote him, I would, but out of respect for Pop and thinking he's one of probably the best coach I've ever seen, I'm not gonna fire him. The other thing I want to do before I forget is fire Coach Bud. And I'm just gonna see if they have that Ott guy who they announced as their coach. They do. Well, ain't that something? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna skip one day, let teams do what they feel they need to do. And actually, one more thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fire Doc. Shout out Doc, but he don't need to be here. And I am going to let the Suns obviously go talk to Jordan Ott. That makes sense to me. Okay, so I signed Jordan Ott as their coach. It took an extra couple seconds. Now I'm gonna go back and fix all the picks. It's always nice when you're doing one of these and 2 of the picks are just kind of flip-flop. So like in this, San Antonio has the 4th, Charlotte has the 2nd. It's just flip-flop, boom. The Jazz got the pick they were supposed to. That's always nice. We get lucky with another flip-flop. We're on a good run of teams just getting the right pick. It's like 3 in a row. Can we make it 4 with the Spurs? Oh my god. Perfect. Okay. Now we just gotta go fix the outside lottery picks. Okay, so 16 goes to the Magic. They should already have that. Shouldn't have to do anything. 17 to Minnesota. All right. Finally done with the first round of the draft. I'm not gonna worry about the second round, but the first round is completely up to date. We also are going to sim the rest of staff signings and just see what teams have done. So the Bucks hire Tom Thibodeau as their head coach. The Nuggets hired Doc Rivers instead of David Adelman. I think I'm going to go and fix that, and the rest of stuff we already knew. The Knicks hired Coach Bud. Okay, as soon as the season gets started, I'll do that. NBA draft, we're going to hop in. Everything's on auto, so teams will pick who they want. The Mavericks pick Cooper Flag with the #1 pick. The Spurs select Ace Bailey. The Sixers draft Asa. Whoa, that is a huge jump. Hornets get Dylan Harper at 4, and then 5. It looks like Edgecomb's going to go. Wow. Brooklyn is trading their 8th pick along with a 2nd-round pick for Obi Toppin and Johnny Furphy. I don't love that for them. 9th pick, Yakachonis. 10th. We're just going to see if there's any trades. And actually, as I say that, the Bulls just traded 12th and Lonzo Ball for Tyler Hero. Okay. Miami is restarting. Minnesota trades number 17 for Nick Richards, Royce O'Neal. I don't know about that. Orlando's trading their 25th pick along with John Isaac for CJ McCollum and Kelly Olynyk. Okay. We'll get out of the first round and then we will sim the rest. So really big surprise here is number 3. I think it's Asa Newell gets drafted over the likes of Dylan Harper, VJ Edgecombe. But it's all right. I mean, I've seen Newell pan out in these, so I do think that's a miss by the Sixers, but what can you do? Free agency time. I let the teams decide what they wanted to do for team player options, qualifying offers, and that is that. I'll also show you some of the sliders I have for contracts just to try and make them a little more realistic. We'll take a look at a sample player, for example, like a Kelly Oubre who would usually run you like 20-something million. He's only wanting 12 million, which I think is a lot more realistic. But then on the other end, a guy like Giannis is still going to want $70 million. The other thing I have too is that it makes that like teams try and go and sign their guys more often. It's also a little higher. These things, morale difficulty. I think morale is so bad in this game. It's so random. So I just kind of don't mess with it. But chemistry's still on. In day 1 of free agency, we got a moratorium actually. So after moratorium, a lot of guys staying with the teams. The first mover is Quentin Grimes going back to Detroit, who he spent a little bit of time with in the 23-24 season. Other movers, Russ goes back to Houston, who he had a great season in 2020. Al Horford goes to the Spurs. Okay. Caruso to Golden State. Fred VanVleet over to Sacramento. Indiana. Even though they brought back Miles Turner, they bring in Clint Capella. Trey Mann, new start in Sacramento. Aaron Wiggins over to Dallas. Mo Wagner going over to Phoenix. Sadiq Bey, Charlotte. And Colin Murray Boyles was here for some reason. Got drafted with the 27th pick, but it looks like he's in free agency. I don't know what's going on there. All right, we're going to go look at the full free agency recap. Honestly, wish I would have done that a little earlier, but that's all right. If there's anything interesting, I'll highlight it. So Philadelphia gets Gary Trent Jr. Dennis Schroeder goes over to Milwaukee along with Chris Boucher, Karis LeVert. Josh Giddey did sign a 4-year deal with the Bulls. Malcolm Brogdon back to Cleveland. I think he spent some time in Cleveland, right? Nope, tripping. Bobby Portis over to Boston. And by the way, I do have it, I believe, set that Jason Tatum will be out this entire season. James Harden did re-sign with the Clippers. Naz Reid goes over to Memphis, okay, to form a big man trio with Edey and Jaren Jackson. Jonathan Kuminga leaves the Warriors to get his own, or a chance at having his own team. He will go be a member of the Utah Jazz. We'll probably mess with some of the positions of these players just to make it a bit better. The Knicks' big move was signing Chris Paul, which I don't know. That's something. Lakers did get LeBron to re-sign as well as Malik Beasley. He spent a little bit of time here a couple years ago. He spent about half a season with them. I think was probably in that Vanderbilt trade. Or no, Vanderbilt played for Minnesota. I don't know. But a pretty nice signing for them. Kyrie signed a massive deal. We got to also make sure he's out this year. He signed a 5-year, $300 million deal with them. Brooklyn did some stuff. They re-signed Cam Thomas to a 4-year deal. They signed Jackson Hayes to a 3-year deal. They also signed Ty Jerome, Day'Ron Sharpe. D'Lo goes over to Denver. Ben Simmons signs with the Pistons along with Q Grimes. Tim Hardaway Jr. joins Al Horford in San Antonio. Precious Achiuwa goes over to OKC on a pretty decently sized deal for him. I didn't know Drew Timmy's listed as a center. Oh, he's 6'10". He's a lot taller than I thought he was. Nickeil Alexander and Julius Randle re-signed with Minnesota. And I think that is it for the interesting offseason signings. Now, I'm going to do a couple things. This is technically still going to be the offseason, but we are going to get to the end of the 2K offseason. First things first, before I forget, Doc Rivers getting fired from a team that he didn't even coach for. David Adelman is getting the job from the Nuggets. Boom. Now comes the big stuff that I think people are excited for. I have to figure out where I want Giannis to go. Their power rank first, which is kind of wild, but this is going to be a different era of Milwaukee basketball. And the Giannis trade is done. We'll go take a look at it. Giannis goes to San Antonio with Tyler Smith just to make salaries work. In return, the Bucks get a young player in Devin Vassell, a really young player in Stephon Castle, 3 first-round picks, and Keldon Johnson to make these salaries work. I know stuff we do might not be realistic, to be honest, but I want it to be fun. And the Bucks they're not even about to have Damian Lillard in a second, but they do get young players in return. They get a pretty much full restart, and I think they're in a good spot. We're going to move Castle over to the point guard and Vassell over to the shooting guard. I know his overall goes down, but he's 6'5". I don't really want him playing the small forward for them. The next trade is going to be the Phoenix Suns trade for Kevin Durant. All right, this is the KD trade we're going with. It's probably not the most realistic, but he is going to Minnesota to team up with Ant, Jaden McDaniels, Julius. Nope, not Julius. His contract has to be in here. But Rudy Gobert, Dante's still there. It's a pretty good team. The Timberwolves are losing a lot of their young players. Robert Dillingham, Terrence Shannon, and then they drafted Monte, who's a 7'2" center. And they also have to give up 2 first-round picks. Boom. Minnesota, I think now is one of the more formidable teams in the West, if they weren't already. Ant gets to play with one of his favorite players of all time. Here's a surprise trade. Drew Holiday is going back to Milwaukee, where he won a championship, and the Celtics are improving their scoring with Damian Lillard, as they are going to be missing Jason Tatum for this whole season. I didn't want Dame to sit there and rot. He's still a really fun, great player, especially in this game, coming off a good year, and I didn't want him to just sit there. I know Boston's going to be looking probably to make some moves, and to me, this made some sense. They also got cheap, older veteran players. Chris Boucher's only making $2 million. Andre Jackson's making about 2.5, and then AJ Green only making 2.3. The Bucks, on the other hand, they get young players in Hunter Silas and Dink Pate, who I have seen turn out to be really good in this game, and they also get 2 first-round picks from the Celtics. They aren't going to be the most valuable. One is this year's Celtics pick, and then I forget what the 27 pick. I don't remember if it is Boston's or not, but they're both unprotected. So I think Milwaukee's in a really good spot to start their rebuild now. They, over the next couple of years, they have 3 first-round picks this year, 2 in 27, 2 in 28, and 1 2030. So as long as they hit on a couple of those, they're going to be in a good spot because they already have a point guard of the future. I mean, Vassell could be here long term, and yeah, they got some pieces for sure. So I am going to go move Jonathan Kuminga's position over to the small forward. That way he's starting, and I think I'm going to go make a move for Lauri Markkanen. I don't know where he goes, but we're going to move him somewhere. Okay, so let me explain this trade. So the Jazz are going to move on from Lauri Markkanen. They are going to get in return a younger player, Michael Porter Jr., who I feel like has still the potential to be like a franchise scorer at least. Obviously, he's not going to do much on the defensive end, but a 6'10" guy who can shoot the 3 like that, it's still something that excites teams. The Jazz are in kind of a weird spot. Lauri Markkanen's been there a couple years now. He's hit those prime years. He's making $50 million. Neither of these contracts are good. And then I think Denver, they should be looking to add another piece. Obviously, Aaron Gordon's been great. I'm going to move Aaron Gordon over to the 3. He can play good perimeter defense for them. And then Sabonis comes in as a guy who's going to play either the 4 or 5 for them and just do pretty much what Jokic does, but just a little less. And I think that's going to be a really fun team to watch. Boom, 3-team trade done. The Utah Jazz have Michael Porter Jr. at the 3. The Kings get a guy in Lauri Markkanen who could come play something for them, you know? And then to me, the obvious winner of this trade is the Nuggets. So if we move Aaron Gordon, he actually goes up at the 3. Now I'm assuming either Sabonis or Jokic will both go down. Jokic less notable, but we'll just do this, let the team decide. Boom. And all of a sudden, to me, this Nuggets starting 5 looks nasty. The picks that went in this trade, obviously, the Kings get a first from the Jazz because the Kings are giving up the Domantas Sabonis. A 31st rounder goes to the Nuggets. What was I thinking with these picks? Hold on. So all the Kings trade is Sabonis. They get back Lauri Markkanen, and they get 2 firsts from the Nuggets. Okay, that makes sense. The Nuggets trade Michael Porter Jr., get rid of some picks for Domantas Sabonis. They also get a 31st rounder from the Jazz, I guess. I don't know if I like that, but whatever. Trade's done and dusted. And I think that's that. Just to show you, everything is on automatic for these teams. So now, from here on out, those are the moves I'm making. From here on out, everything is in the hands of these teams. They get to pick who they trade, who they don't, who's untouchable, who's not. And like I said, we're going to get through this first season now. It's time to go. So in the next episode, we will have the off season to do and pick our teams. So I am going to go download the teams we are adding for sure. First and foremost, we will get this Seattle team. I like these jerseys. I think this guy did a good job of kind of staying faithful to the original designs and also putting some modern design flair to them. That'll be our first team. All right, we'll just download these as the New Jersey Nets. I downloaded a new design for the Pelicans. I didn't like what they had and I didn't like what I had. Pretty good stuff. I just changed the color to darker. That's all I did, but the original creator did a great job. So now obviously I definitely want to do a third team and I don't know who that's going to be. I am going to just get a placeholder. Right now it'll be the Vegas Vipers, but that will not stay. today. So yeah, we are going to sim the season and just see how things go. So it is officially the trade deadline, and we are going to go look at some of these trades. I'm already seeing a kind of wild one. So after all the trades we made, the first one to get made was Tyler Kolek for Jose Alvarado. I kind of don't hate that for the Knicks, as they have Chris Paul and Jalen Brunson as their point guards. Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson got the Lakers, or went to the Lakers for a first-round pick and Maxi Kleber. Happy the Lakers got rid of Kleber. Disappointed to see they had to trade a first-round pick to do so. The Cavaliers traded Max Strus and a first-round pick for Derek Queen. Good for them. 76ers traded Andre Drummond for Zeke Naji. Darius Garland and LaMelo Ball switch places. Okay, that's the first domino. Cleveland is first in the East, and Charlotte is sitting at 13th. Interesting. Jordan Clarkson got traded for a first-round pick. Jazz and the Thunder. So I love seeing the Thunder lose their picks, honestly. Duncan Robinson for Yusuf Nurkic. Grayson Allen for Jordan Clarkson got traded again. So the Suns immediately lose a first-round pick for Jordan Clarkson. Don't love that for them. Clippers trade Jordan Miller and Trenton Flowers for a 27 first-rounder from the Suns, but it's actually from the Rockets. Fred VanVleet gets traded to the Pistons for Simone Fontecchio. Dante DiVincenzo over to Brooklyn for Ty Jerome. Brooklyn also gets a first-round pick. Peyton Pritchard and Xavier Tillman get traded for TJD and Buddy Hield. Okay. Cam Christie for Vince Williams Jr. Max Christie gets traded for Robert Williams. Yabusele's in that deal. Also Aaron Wiggins, Jakob Poeltl, and Rui Hachimura. I like that trade for the Lakers. I do like that. The Lakers did have to give up a first-round pick. They're probably out of first-round picks. Now, this is the big one. The Pacers bringing back Paul George, who's been honestly worse than last year, averaging 11, 4, and 4. The splits are bad. Okay. And then the Sixers get Pascal Siakam to put next to Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and whoever they drafted, I don't remember. Jonathan Isaac for Dorian Finney-Smith, and that is all the trades. I am really interested to see how some of these seedings are figuring out. So at the top of the East, the two teams you would expect, but a Tyler Hero-less Miami Heat team is in third place. Lonzo Ball averaging about 11, 4, and 6, 1.5 steals. Horrible shooting, but I'm assuming Bam is going crazy. Yeah, probably the best season of his career. Khalil Ware upped his stuff. Jaime Jaquez and Pell Larson's actually getting significant run for them. Interesting team over here, especially to be in third place. Chicago Bulls over in fourth. So this is a win-win trade for these two teams. Tyler Hero looks to be injured. Has he played a lot for them though? Yeah, he's played 45 games, so hasn't missed too much time, averaging about 25 and 5. Looks like he's coming off the bench. Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Io. Okay. Indiana sitting in fourth place, but they just made the Pascal Siakam trade, so I honestly expect them to fall. Toronto over here as well. They just traded Jakob Poeltl. I don't know who they're going to start at center. It looks like it's going to be this 71 overall Chomsky. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that. Brooklyn over here in 7, starting Garway Duwal now. Again, don't know if I said that correctly. They had the draft day trade for Obi Toppin. Nick Claxton looks like he's coming off the bench. This is a gross team, but somehow 29-24. The Pistons below them. The Q Grimes signing not exactly working out. Jaden Ivey back in the lineup. Kind of a disappointing year for them. Super disappointing over here for Orlando. They brought in CJ McCollum. Jalen Suggs still there. I mean, the roster kind of looks like what you'd expect, except CJ starting at the 2. Boston, pretty bad year, 22-30. Honestly, Dame's playing pretty great, honestly, in all due respect. Then Derek White, Bobby Portis. I think we're going to have them trade Kristaps to maybe one of the top East teams, maybe a West team. We'll see. Jaylen Brown just not being the star that they really need right now. Milwaukee's just behind Boston, so Milwaukee's probably ahead of schedule. Stephon Castle pretty much doing what he did last year, and Vassell, same deal. Atlanta sitting at 20-30. They could possibly be looking to move off Trae Young. Charlotte, another bad year, but they did make the big trade for Darius Garland. I don't know what that is. 11-win Sixers now have Pascal Siakam, who's on a 3-year deal making $50 million, and he's just going to stay here on the bad Philly team. The Wizards have 7 wins. Out west, leading the way is that Minnesota team with KD, Rudy Gobert off the bench, Nick Richards starting. San Antonio in second place. De'Aaron, Ace Bailey, how's he doing? Averaging about 11, 2, and 4. Giannis is over here, only averaging 17 and 11. And then Wemby 20 and 11. So it's pretty much just balanced, honestly. 10 points for Hardaway, 21 for Fox. I forgot to make Kyrie injured. I am going to go do that. I know that's going to suck for them, but 28 a game for Kyrie too. Damn, that's on me. The Thunder are over in fourth place, just kind of doing what the Thunder do. Golden State with the addition of Peyton Pritchard, sitting over in 5th spot. Could be worse, could be better. Clippers are pretty good. They're over 500, sitting in the 6th seed. Yeah, nothing more really to say about that. Denver, disappointing at the 7th seed. It looks like they are missing Jokic. I wonder how long he's been out. He's played 47 games, so he's played a lot. So it's just a team that's not performing as well. The Pelicans are right behind them in the A seed. Nothing crazy here. The Rockets sitting at 9th. Russ off the bench, averaging about 12, 4, and 6. Sacramento not too far back as the 10th seed. Added Lauri Markkanen, who's giving them about 17 a game. Portland in the 11th seed, just being Portland. LA just added Jakob Poeltl. Hopefully, I guess, waiting for a second half push that I don't know if it's going to come. Memphis is bad. Phoenix is bad, as kind of to be expected, but they have picks coming. And then Utah at 10 and 40, really bad. Jonathan Minga. Points are actually down as the main guy on a team. That's kind of disappointing. And honestly, I don't know if I am going to make trades. I want to kind of let everything be in these teams' hands now. Teams' trajectories I don't want to mess with after they've been so good. The only thing I have to do just to feel right is I want Kyrie to be injured for this first year. We aren't going to make him miss any of next season, but this season he is going to finish injured. So he tore his ACL, it says. We'll just have him miss the rest of the season, 180 days or whatever. Boom. Sorry, Kyrie. Didn't want to have to do that to you. And we are going to sim through the trade deadline, just see if there was any more trades. Nope. All right, we're going to sim to the end of the year. So your MVP is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It'll be his second. I don't know. Okay, it does remember he got it last year. Dylan Harper, Rookie of the Year. Josh Giddey, 6th man. Defensive player goes to Wemby. Most improved goes to Trace Jackson Davis, which I'm actually going to overwrite because we're going to go find someone actually deserving of this. I'm looking for the first name that surprises me on this list. I think we're going to give it to Scoot. But that's the thing people get mad at, is when you give it to a young guy who just improves. Okay, in all honesty, I haven't seen another player improve as much as Scoot, and it's not even close. He went from 13 a game last year to 20. I think that deserves it. Clutch player, Jalen Brunson. Pop is your coach of the year, and Clay George is the executive of the year. First team, no surprises. Second team, Ja made it. That might be surprising, as did Embiid. And third team, defensive first. Any surprises? Not really. Defensive second. Any surprises? Really? Not really. All rookie first team. This Grant Nelson guy averaged about 16 and 6 and 4. I don't think he played many games with the Pistons. 22. So that's that. Edgecombe falls to the second team. Kyle Filipowski is on the rookie second team. Karlo Matkovic is as well, and that covers that. So looking at the final standings, the play-in is over. Pelicans, Hawks, Blazers, and Celtics all are eliminated. So Celtics, after taking a swing and miss on Dame Lillard, they will get back Jason Tatum last year, and actually he ended up playing a little bit this year. Sorry about that. That's an oversight by me. He only played 20 games. He was pretty damn good though. The Mavs, even with the Kyrie Irving injury in the second half of the season, still finished third in the conference. The Nuggets improved all the way to 5th. Pretty good year, I would say, for Sabonis. 18, 11, and 7, and now Jokic will have a running mate for years to come, along with Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon. I'm really interested in that team. We are going to simulate round 1. We're honestly going to simulate the entire playoffs. We're just going to watch some of the finals game as the Rockets get eliminated, the Kings are eliminated, Brooklyn gets eliminated, Thunder are eliminated. Whoa, the Thunder are eliminated. In round 1, Denver beats them. Miami gets eliminated. Where did they end up finishing? 7. So that wasn't a real team over there. Toronto and Chicago. So shout out to some of those teams, man. Some of the teams that had some surprising runs. Sacramento over in the play-in, good for them. They moved Lowry back to the bench. He averaged about 17 a game this year, 14 in the playoffs. DeMar Levine's numbers went down, so interesting. Trey Mann went up in the playoffs. Ty Jerome helped Minnesota hold on to a top seed in the West. He's up to 19 a game in these playoffs right now. Wow. Regular season for KD, he was still KD. 26 a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Pretty cool. That surprise run for Chicago ends. They started Hero. I wish I would have thought about maybe moving Giddey to the 3 for them, but that's okay. Brooklyn, another team, surprising. They have so many picks, and they made it 5th seed, 6th seed. Good for them. Paul George for the Pacers has them in the 3rd seed. Not the best year for him. Bad in the playoffs so far, but they are winning at least. And yeah, the only upset came in this 4-5 matchup where Denver beats OKC, which was the second round this year? Yeah. So interesting. Cool stuff. All right, round 2. Indiana gets swept by New York. Minnesota loses. Denver loses in 7, and the Pistons get eliminated. So we get a 1-3 matchup over in the West and a 1-2 over in the East. Nothing too crazy. The Knicks beat the Cavs, and the Mavericks lose to the Spurs. So Giannis is your Western Conference Finals MVP, and Kat is your Eastern Conference Finals. Okay, now one thing that's cool actually is from another separate video. I think I have a Knicks floor ready to go. I don't have a Spurs one though. Yeah, we do have a Knicks championship floor. Hopefully the Knicks play a home game when the series clinches. So game 1 is a loss for the Knicks. 36 for Fox, 30 for Wembanyama, 26, 14, and 10 for Giannis. yeah, if I had to put money on it, I would go Spurs. Game 2, another big one for them. 28-14 for Towns. They got 19-6 out of Sohan, so this might be a sweep. Game 3 is another loss, and in Game 4 would be on the Knicks home floor, would be an MSG. Maybe we could get a look at it. Can the Knicks steal a game? This one looks out of hand, and with 50 seconds left, we will take a look at the court. Why not? I put the effort in to make it. Might as well take a look at it. Alvarado getting guarded by Wemby is fucked up, man. Oh, he's not. He's guarding Fox. I was like, what are we doing? I don't know why I'm even in here, but the court looks cool, right? I think the court looks nice. All right, and the San Antonio Spurs win the NBA championship after the Wemby trade the Giannis trade this offseason. They have already done it, so I think both teams are happy. Finals MVP goes to Giannis, so that's his second of his career. I think one would be only one of a few players to win Finals MVPs with 2 teams and also both conferences. I mean, he joins LeBron, Kawhi, probably Kareem, and there's probably some other people I'm forgetting, but interesting stuff. So that is the season done, and we are about to go into the expansion era. I'm really excited. Hopefully I get some feedback. I know getting comments on these videos isn't always a certainty, so if you do leave a comment, I appreciate it. Help me figure out what we're gonna do this series. I want y'all to be involved, so if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It means the world to me, and it helps me feel like I'm not wasting my time here. So I will see you on the next one, and we will get into the expansion era. Peace.